Hello, 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 hello. Hello, hello, my beautiful people out there in YouTube land. How are you this wonderful Wednesday afternoon? Yes, indeed, it is the middle of the week. It is Wednesday, June 24th, 2020, and you are watching Omega Live with JJ, Woman Without Borders. Thank you so much for tuning into this program. I really appreciate you. I do not take it for granted because I know you could have been otherwise, but you have chosen to spend this hour with me, and I really appreciate you. Thank you so much. Thank you for all my subscribers. Thank you for my new subscribers and my old subscribers. Thank you for all my subscribers. Guys, remember, if you have not yet subscribed, please subscribe to the channel, okay? Omega News, absolutely. And remember to always share the link with your friends and family. Once I start the program, guys, just hit that share button so that others can watch the program live because you're watching it in real time. It means also, guys, that if you comment while I'm speaking now on the program, I can see your comment in real time and respond immediately. Absolutely. Otherwise, you'll be watching a replay of the program, and at that time you can comment, but I would not be responding to your comment in real time. Okay, absolutely. And so, guys, remember, I'm also on social media. I'm on Instagram, Twitter, and Facebook, Omega News JA. You can go over there and like, comment, and share the link with your friends and family also and help this program to grow, right? Absolutely. If you find value in this program, guys, remember to always give me that thumbs up to show YouTube that you find value in what I am doing, right? Absolutely. Thank you for my thumbs up in the past and for the thumb that's going to come today on this program because I have a good program for you guys. I always try to make my programs informative for you so that you can make informed decisions, right? You know, my people are destroyed for lack of knowledge. And so I ensure that I give you information. And there's just so much misinformation out there, guys, as you know, and lack of information. Sometimes there's just no information at all. And you see that, right? Okay. And so as I get it, I give it to you so that you can make informed decisions, right? As a fellow student of knowledge, and we're all students of knowledge, right? On this pathway that the Lord God Almighty, the creator of the universe, has placed us on a journey. And we are all at different levels on this journey, but we all must make this journey, right? Absolutely. And so we're here to help each other, each one help one. And so I do the best I can, okay? Absolutely. And so, guys, you know the drill by now. I give you the news and then I give you my 2 cents on what's happening in Jamaica or what has been happening within the last 24 to 48 hours, depending, right? Absolutely. So, in the last 24 hours, Jamaica now has 670 confirmed cases of the COVID-19 coronavirus disease, according to the press release issued by the Ministry of Health and Wellness yesterday as of 3 p.m. yesterday. Yeah, the 5 new cases are all imported, consisting of 3 females and 2 males, with their ages ranging from 15 to 61 years old. They all reside in either St. Catherine or Kingston and St. Andrew. And all of them, guys, came in on flights from the United States of America. You know, I'm going to get to that international news for you later, where, countries are banning Americans. Can you imagine, guys? Yeah. Because of this COVID-19 and what's happening in the US, 50% of the states are having surges. Yeah. Talk about the second wave. Talk about, guys, second wave. Yeah, second wave. So almost 50% of the states are experiencing it as we speak, guys. So let me give you the rest of information for my big data people, right? So to date, they have done 21,658 samples, with 20,926 coming back negative. And as I said before, now we have 670 that are positive, with 62 pending samples, guys. So there are 62 samples that are pending. The outcome we won't know until tomorrow or thereabouts as to the results for these samples. Yeah. So in the 24-hour period, they did sample 379. That was the sample in which they got those 5 new positive cases. Yeah. Of the total 670 cases, we have 385 who are female and 285 that are male. And we still have 518 recoveries. There are now 274 persons who are in government quarantine, 2,011 who are in home quarantine, 13 persons are hospitalized, which means the number is going down. Persons are getting better again. And yes, good news, good news, good news, good news. Give me a thumbs up for this good news I'm about to give you guys. Guess what? That critically ill person has recovered. Yay! To God be the glory. Great things he has done. Yeah? So our critically ill person, again, we don't know if it's male or female, but I believe that our health minister is going to give us that number in his weekly COVID conversations. I'm expecting to hear about this person who has recovered. We don't know, like I said, whether it's male or female or what age range, but we are happy. We're very happy that this person has recovered from the COVID-19. Yeah, I see, guys, so that sentence, we still only have 10 persons who have died from it, right? And this person who was critically ill has recovered, and we are happy. And the other person who was moderately ill has also recovered. So those two persons have been discharged from the hospital. Awesome, yeah, awesome. Yeah, we love that. We love good news, don't we? Yes, we love good news indeed. We still have 128 persons, guys, who are in isolation, and as a result of these new 5 positive cases who are all imported, our imported cases number has gone up, and now we have 164 persons who are imported cases for COVID-19. Yeah. And we know the number is more because these are to say imported cases. We have not included the contacts of confirmed cases. So it would have been more if we were to include that number. Yeah. Okay. Yes, guys. And so on that note, I am going to now segue into the next story. So according to the Minister of Local Government and Community Development, the Honorable Desmond McKenzie, the government is reviewing its decision to reopen Jamaica's rivers and beaches for public use after finding flagrant and repeated breaches of the COVID-19 protocols to minimize the risk of spreading the novel coronavirus. The government is also concerned that some operators of sports bars, nightclubs, and other places of amusement in a number of parishes around the country, including Kingston and St. Andrew, St. Catherine, and St. James, have been staging events which in some cases attract more than 100 patients at a time in this COVID-19 pandemic. Yeah, but then what did you expect? Seriously. Yeah? Yeah, so Minister McKenzie said yesterday that while the Prime Minister, the Honourable Andrew Holness, is considering modalities for an orderly protocol-driven reopening of the places of entertainment, some proprietors were prejudicing the interests of the entire sector by breaching the order. However, he insisted that while the resumption of economic and social activities is important, it will not occur with undue risk to public health. Mr. McKenzie, in a statement to the House of Representatives, said that his ministry has received detailed reports that has witnessed flagrant and repeated breaches of the critical protocols by large numbers of beach and river goers. He reiterated that the beaches and rivers had been conditionally reopened and a review of the manner in which people are using the facilities is underway. He said that there was no guarantee that the initial 2-week reopening period would be extended, and it comes to an end on June 30th, right? So that the manner in which people use the recreational spaces will effectively determine whether it is extended. The government allowed a phased reopening of beaches and rivers effective Sunday, June 7th, allowing people to visit public beaches licensed under the Beach Control Act during the operating hours of 6 a.m. to 6 p.m. and with rivers from 6 a.m. to 8 p.m. He also says then that the relaxation of restrictions on the beaches and rivers would remain in place for 14 days, after which there will be a review. And he told the House that the Social Development Commission, the SDC, which falls under his ministry, had been observing activities at 58 beaches and 65 rivers over the last 2 weeks. So let me give it that perspective of the social development. So the Social Development Commission, the SDC, have been mandated to monitor the use of public beaches and rivers, which were recently given the green light to reopen on June 7th, to ensure that social distancing and other health protocols were being observed. When the SDC parish office in Hanover was contacted as to whether or not they are aware of the given instruction or whether or not they were adhering, Mashiria Biseso, the parish manager for Hanover, said they were in compliance. Quote, "We have been asked to undertake a survey of the beaches and rivers to assess the level of compliance with the established protocols for the reopening. Basically, we're doing a survey on a capture sheet. What the SDC officers have to do is to go to the rivers and the beaches, the public ones in the parish, and spend some time there and observe." That's what they do, right? The SDC parish manager further explained that the requirement is to attain at least a sample of 50% of the public facilities within the parish to do the survey. He said they have a 14-day period in which to complete the survey. Biseso said the observation done by the SDC officers to date has revealed that the facilities in Hanover are being used heavily, mainly in the early mornings and afternoons, just before the official closing time, and that apart from minor infringements, the compliance level with the health protocol is commendable. And I will basically stop there at this point. Okay, so beaches are open, as you know, rivers too, right, with some protocols put in place. I have personally not gone into the water since beaches have reopened for many reasons, but I do love the beach. And I love the edge of the beach. And I've been calling, as you guys have been watching the program, I've been calling for the beaches to be opened, right? And so they opened the beaches. But no, guys, persons, and can I tell you something though? It is very hard, and I can understand it is very hard for one to really practice these health protocols at a beach. So and I sympathize with the users of the beach in not being able to maintain or to practice, right? Because while you can practice physical distancing to some extent at a beach, it is hard for you to wear a mask at a beach. I mean, how do you wear a mask at a beach? Because especially if you want to swim, you can't go into the water with the mask. You can't go with the mask, you know. You have to take the mask off to go into the water. So it's going to be very, very difficult for you to really maintain this health protocol at the beach. So the important thing is basically to end, and I understand that you really can't end the DRMA at this point in time based on the fact that, we see what's happening around the world. So we do need to keep some measures in place. And so at this point in time, then the idea would best be then in that case to close back the beach, because you cannot have a beach open with people on the beach swimming with mask on. That doesn't work, So it's either you close back the beach at this point in time, right? But you can't have the beach open and then declare, that hey, don't wear a mask. How you wear a mask at the beach when you got to go to swim? Can't do that. Yeah, you didn't think about these things before. Yeah, I know you tried and you were trying to please persons, and especially because of the election year, you want to try to please everybody, but it doesn't work like that. You understand? Can't please everybody. So you got to know who to please then in that case, right? And I keep on saying, if you do the right thing, then who is to be pleased will be pleased. Yeah, because they've done the right thing. Yeah. Okay. So anyway, continue the stories, guys. So now I gotta give this one. I gotta give this one. Attorney at law Anthony Pearson has been struck off the list of lawyers authorized to practice in Jamaica. Guys, he has been debarred. Yeah, or disbarred. Yeah, and the reason being, right, there was an accusation that he failed to return nearly $10 million to a financial institution that had inadvertently deposited the money into his account. You soon learn who it is. I'm going to give you the story. So, the General Legal Counsel of the GLC confirmed yesterday, that is Tuesday, June 23rd, 2020, that a 3-member disciplinary panel ordered on June 18th that Pearson, that a 3-member disciplinary panel ordered on June 10th that Pearson be disbarred. That sentence is wrong, missing something. But basically what they're saying is that there was a 3-member panel who basically were the ones who were instrumental in looking over this recommendation for him to be disbarred, and basically it was upheld, right? So the GLC is the body established to police the legal profession in Jamaica, right? So they're a regulatory body for the lawyers in Jamaica. So if you have a problem with a lawyer, guy, there's a recourse for you, a redress. You know where to go, right? You go to the GLC, General Legal Counsel, and they look into the matter for you. Yeah. So now, in a last-minute bid to retain his license, Pearson reportedly filed an application with the GLC seeking to have the decision of the disciplinary panel put on hold. The application was refused this afternoon. He was found guilty of professional misconduct on October 12, 2019, the GLC confirmed. Pearson is the latest in a string of well-known attorneys who have been disbarred in recent years. We have others including Harold Brady, Jennifer Masado, and Miguel Loom, who all were disbarred. According to the complaint lodged with the GLC, Pearson represented a client in the purchase of a house through the Victoria Mutual Building Society. Yeah? So this is the institution, the financial institution is the Victoria Mutual Building Society, the VMBS. It is reported that VMBS deposited just over $13 million into the attorney's account. $9.9 million more than was required to complete the transaction. Yeah? So he was supposed to have gotten the difference between the 13 million and the 9.9, but they deposited 13 million erroneously. Yeah. Despite several requests, the money has not been returned to VMBS, according to the complaint. Since the start of the year, 3 attorneys have been struck from the list of lawyers authorized to practice in Jamaica. 4 others have been found guilty of professional misconduct. But I mean, seriously, again, guys, is anyone surprised? Yeah. We know there are some good attorneys, but by and large, we know that many of them, especially the criminal attorneys, yeah, many of them are criminals themselves. You know that. Yeah, this is the case, guys. Of they say can't live with them and can't live without them. I think attorneys fall into that bracket. Yeah. Yeah. So, unfortunately, like I said, we know we do have some good ones out there, and I lift my hat to those. But yeah, every once in a while, you hear these stories about the others who have been, disbarred because of, their conduct unbecoming an officer of the court. Yeah. Continue with the news, guys. So, disgruntled residents of Elgin Town, Hanover, blocked a section of the North Coast Highway on Tuesday, that's yesterday, to protest the police shooting of a man who recently returned to Jamaica from the Cayman Islands. And he is Lineker Williams, a 28-year-old, who was shot reportedly. He was shot and injured reportedly by the police last Friday night. Last Friday night was very busy, don't it? A lot of things was happening last Friday night. Very, very busy last Friday. Irate residents who blocked the roadway with large stones, tree trunks, old furniture, and tires claimed that the shooting was unjustified. Errol Chateau, Director of Complaints at the Independent Commission of Investigations in the Western Regional Office, told the Gleaner that a meeting has been arranged for Wednesday, that is today, Wednesday, June 24, 2020, between relatives of the injured man and Superintendent Sharon Beeper, the commanding officer for Hanover. Lovely woman, by the way. Pleasant good afternoon to you, Madam Beeper. Yes, keep up the good work that you are doing. Yeah. The injured man's mother, Benive Jory, said that her son, who resides in the Cayman Islands but returned to the island last year to finalize divorce arrangements, was not involved in any crime. Jory said that her son would have been back in Cayman had it not been for travel restrictions related to the COVID-19 pandemic. William's mother said that her son had just left her yard to attend a wake close to the house when he was shot by the police. What the police say to me is that they might keep dance after 10 o'clock and the curfew hours pass. From them shoot my son from Friday night, a pure run around me I get. They might shove me around and I run me around, the mother said. When me go up there, referring to Falmouth Hospital, them have him handcuffed to a bed and him shout out and tell me say, from them carry him up there, them no make him use the bathroom, and when me inquire from a policeman, then run me. Tuesday's protests resulted in a gridlock between Negril and Montego Bay for miles. The police said that shortly after 11 p.m. on Friday, they received reports that men were at a wake in the community. Williams was allegedly held with an illegal firearm. He was shot and injured during an attempt to apprehend him, the police said. The he said, she said case that Indicom has to look into to determine, who's lying, the he or the she. Oh my God! I mean, I'm saying, yeah. The Indicom, they have their hands full, and definitely our lawmakers need to hurry up and amend that act to give them the teeth that office needs. You understand? So that they can make arrests, right? Absolutely, yeah. So continuing, guys. Excuse me. Continue with the news. One man is in police custody following the stabbing death of up-and-coming dancehall DJ Glamadon in St. Mary on Monday. According to a report from the Corporate Communications Unit of the JCF, that is the information arm, right? Glamadon, his real name is Henry Winter, right? On 5 p.m. on Monday. A knife was brought into play, and the 24-year-old DJ was stabbed. He was rushed to the hospital where he was pronounced dead. The Highgate police, of course, are continuing their investigations. Glamadon was reportedly on his way to a studio when the incident occurred. In a 2019 interview with the Jamaica Observer, the DJ disclosed that he got into music. Disclosed how he got into music. He said, "I grew up listening to my mother sing as well as other relatives and friends, so music was always around me. But the moment I wrote my first song and perform it on stage, that motivated me to take the music seriously. That's how my journey began. I've always been told I'm spectacular on stage." Glamadon was confident he was on the verge of making it in the big leagues. And Omega News would like to say to sincere condolences and prayers to all his relatives and friends, and may his soul rest in peace. Peace. Yeah. I'm telling you, the violence doesn't stop, guys. It does not stop. Meanwhile, an 18-month investigation by law enforcers led to the exhumation of skeletal remains in an open field at Waterloo Lane, Spanish Town, St. Catherine yesterday. It was a big thing, you hear, right? About this mass grave that they found in St. Catherine. Okay, so by noon yesterday, excavators had unearthed bones suspected to be from at least 2 bodies, signaling a breakthrough after months of intelligence gathering. So they've been investigating this case for a year and a half, For 4 femurs or thigh bones and other skeletal remains were found in one of the crude graves. According to Acting Commissioner of Police Fitz Bailey, he said the police had been tipped off about the burial site. Quote, the police continue to persist using the resources that are available, including our cadaver dogs, and we have found the site. We were here last year, and we came back about 2 to 3 weeks ago. Yeah, I remember the story last year. It was in the news last year, guys. Okay, so a year and a half later, yeah, they say we were here last year and we came back about 2 to 3 weeks ago. We came up empty-handed, but the character of our law enforcement officers was demonstrated. Their level of persistence and commitment. End quote. The police believe that the bodies were buried at the location as far back as 4 years ago. The acting DCP said that the investigation is still continuing. However, sleuths had expected to find the remains of more than 2 persons in a zone that has been dominated by the Klansman gang, one of the 2 largest underworld networks operating in St. Catherine. And then I got to say this piece, So, anyways. So when you read this is from the Observer. When you read the Gleaner account, 2 different stories, 2 different stories. No, sorry, this is the Gleaner account. When you read the Observer's account, you wonder if you're listening to or reading the same event that took place. It just goes to show, guys, about information and misinformation. and how we have to be very vigilant in terms of what we listen to, what we read. And even with me giving you the information, guys, I know, I am credible, but at the same time, whatever I say, you have to also look into it and to judge for yourself, if what I'm saying makes sense or if it is truthful. You understand? Don't just take anything anybody tell you as gospel, guys, and just swallow it, which is what I see happening a lot, even with watching Parliament yesterday. I hope you guys are watching Parliament, because I was so disappointed in Parliament yesterday, guys. I'm telling you. I'm going to get to that story, actually. So let me say I reserve my comment for that time when I go into that story, which is going to be very soon, because I'm going to go now to basically the front page of the. Oh, before I get to the front page of the Gleaner, today's front page of the Gleaner, I gotta tell you this one, guys. So, right now, as we speak, it is actually going on right now as we speak with there's a virtual symposium, that is going on even as we speak right now. It is facilitated by the Jamaica Defence Force Caribbean Military Academy using a virtual meeting, right? Platform. And what they're doing, they're bringing together academic, public, and private sector subject matter experts to share ideas in a series of panel discussions, right? And okay, sorry, excuse me. So this symposium, right, is sponsored, like I said, by the Ministry of National Security and in partnership with the Jamaica Defence Force, the JDF, and will host the inaugural Resilient Policies on National Development, aka RESPOND. It's a 2-day symposium, guys. It started, like I said, this today. Let me give you some more information about it, so that you can give you information so you can make informed decisions, right? So you can't just go onto the platform, guys, and just go and watch it. You have to register online, and it requires a password. So I'm going to give you information. So write it down, guys. The meeting is at www.eventvio.com/respond. I'm going to give it to you again. So of course you're going to put in the HTTP before it, right? So it's http://www.eventvio.com/respond. Okay, now when you go to that website, guys, they're going to ask you for the meeting number, which is 129-133-0305. The meeting number again is 129-133-0305. And the meeting password, and remember, guys, passwords are case sensitive. They're case sensitive. That means if you have a caps lock on, for example, on your computer, then you're going to have a wrong password. It's case sensitive. So when you're putting in the password, you're going to capitalize SEC. So the word is security, but you're only going to capitalize the SEC of the word security. The other letters are lowercase at 1234. Okay, so again, the password is the security, but the first 3 letters are capitalized. The SEC capitalized, URITY common letters at 1234. That's how you're going to get into this particular symposium. Now, it's very interesting. I was looking at a list of speakers who are going to be at the symposium, who are at the symposium, because it already started, as I said. And of course, it includes the Prime Minister. The Prime Minister is there. Lieutenant General Rocky Mead, right, and head of the security, the JDF, right? Dr. Andre Houghton, Senator, right? Andre Houghton is also there. Lieutenant Commander Julian Neal is also there. You have what is there? Dr. Carissa Etienne, she is also there from PAHO. Yeah, she is there, and Dr. Chang, Security Minister, is there, and others. So you can tune in, you listen to these guys, hear what they have to say. Guys, I can keep on saying, my people are destroyed for the lack of knowledge. So knowledge is powerful, and so in order to make informed decisions, you definitely need to go ahead and register and watch this program, right? Okay. Yeah. So I wanted to watch myself, unfortunately, due to the fact that I had to do the program. That's why I'm able to tune in and to see what is going on there. But I'm hoping to catch, when I'm done with the program today, I'm hoping to go online and to catch a piece of it. I don't know who will be speaking at that point in time when I log on, but I intend to log on and to hear what they have to say. Because if you don't hear and know, then basically, you don't have a say and you don't know what's going on. And you'll be getting information that is second-hand information, not first-hand information. And we love first-hand information, don't we? Yes, we love to get information from the horse's mouth. We want to be told what's happening from the horse's mouth. So, guys, okay, so I'm going to continue the news, but I want to go now to basically what's on the front page of today's Gleaner. The Gleaner today. So let me show you what the headline says today. Okay, so, mm, so can you see it? Can you see it, guys? Yeah, that's the front page of today's Gleaner. Yeah, election ready. Yeah, headline says election ready. Yeah, you see it? Election ready. That's the front page of today's Gleaner, guys. And of course, it has another story, a subordinate story that says hundreds not on the path list get payouts. I'll give you both stories, guys, in a minute. So let me start with the one about the election. Sorry. About the election ready. So the leadership of the opposition People's National Party, PNP, has declared itself fit and ready to challenge the ruling Jamaica Labour Party if Prime Minister Andrew Holness calls a general election shortly after winding up state of emergency across the country. To this announcement by National Security Minister Dr. Horace Chang that the SOEs will be allowed to expire on July 25 has been viewed as a possible signal that Holness might call an early general election. The emergency crackdowns have been imposed to cauterize murder and other violent crimes. There has been vigorous debate about the worth of the SOEs, which have driven down murders in the majority of the 10 police divisions under such measures, but there have been negligible impact on the national casualty toll. PNP General Secretary Julian Robinson said last night that the party, fractured by a bitter internal leadership challenge in September 2019, was now united and focused on victory. Quote, the PNP is ready for an election. We have all 63 candidates in place. End quote. And Horace Daly, Member of Parliament for Clarendon Northern, said that the party was prepared to face either the general or local government election separately, but also relished the groundbreaking prospect of a two-in-one poll. Quote, the Prime Minister wants to have both elections on the same day. There are some constitutional issues and some legal issues that have to be cleared up, but we are prepared for anything the Prime Minister comes up with, he told the Gleaner. Quote, the PNP has been preparing for elections from last year. Whether it be two-in-one, one-in-one, we are prepared to run the elections. Attempts by the Gleaner to contact the Director of Elections, Glasspool Brown or Chang, the JLP's General Secretary, were unsuccessful as calls to their mobile phones went unanswered. The SOEs mark an important weather vane because Holness had said in April, while seeking a 90-day extension of the special security measures, that he would not call an election while emergency powers were in effect. And recently, its counterpart, Dr. Peter Phillips, the president of the People's National Party, insisted that he intends to hold Holness to that promise, and so do the rest of the country. Chang revealed on Tuesday that the government was willing to call time on SOEs, which the Holness administration has been using to fight back against gangs. The decision appears counterintuitive to the government's vigorous defense of SOEs' effectiveness. A general election is not constitutionally due until early 2021, right? Because they've only done 4.5 years. They've not done their full 5 years, right? And local government elections, okay, by November this year, right? According to Dr. Chang, it is quite possibly you would think it has always been expected that the Prime Minister would call an election as soon as possible because logistics say he has handled the COVID-19 crisis good so far and they want to get the bounce. Plus, the economic hardships are going to start biting. Until the US sorts itself out, we're going to suffer. Okay, I'm not going to go further with that one. I'll give you one piece more. One piece more. One piece more. According to an insider, right, he said that it will be politically irresponsible for the party to enter an election without having the opportunity to canvass the July 31st voters list. That is yet to come. And it will be too close to call an election for the August date that they are talking about. And this politician, the person who is speaking is anonymous, right? No names, right? And if you look again, certain sectors of the economy are not yet open. So how you expect that to go? You have to have most things aligning. You might not get everything to be aligned, but most things have to be before you can call election. All right. Okay. Then I saw now. Okay, well I was actually watching the the debate. I don't know if you saw the debate yesterday. I gotta tell you, you must watch Parliament. Always watch Parliament. I was watching the debate, and there was an altercation, a verbal altercation between Dr. Peter Bunting and the Prime Minister. I'm gonna get to that. Before I get to that, I was also reading the story about the NDM. Now, who remember the NDM? Anybody remember the NDM, guys? The NDM? Nobody remember the NDM, don't it? Well, okay, I'm going to give you that one about the NDM before I give you my 2 cents. Let me give you that one. So, the stagnant NDM in a coma, says chairman, the National Democratic Movement, right? So, according to the chairman, Michael Williams, he says the NDM is in a coma, right? That's the National Democratic Movement. Now, that would make it 5 political parties. We don't call them, because they have been in a coma. So we did not count them in our number of political parties at this point in time. So let me give the story now. So before we give my 2 cents. So he said that the NDM, right, that has been in a coma, has been scaled down to an advocacy group. He told the cleaner that the party simply does not have the funds needed to run a successful campaign. So the reason they won't be running in the election because they don't have the funds. Listen to the story, guys. So he said that the party don't have the funds to successfully run a campaign, right? Or run a campaign successfully. He cited a failed attempt to solicit support from a businessman as an example of why the NDM was unable to compete with the Jamaica Labour Party, JLP, and the People's National Party, the PNP. Quoting him, he said, the man said to us, this is what, listen carefully, guys, listen carefully. I want you to listen to this, This is the chairman of the NDM party speaking. He said, the man was supposed to be helping, right? And giving a donation, basically helping the party. And clearly somebody with means, right? He said to them, when I support you. Now, what are you going to do for me? Is when I support you, what are you going to do for us? So this party, this person clearly is speaking, right? Either for the conglomerate, on behalf of a conglomerate, or clearly more than one person, a group of persons, right? So this is the chairman speaking. He said, I said, you are going to get a country that is governed properly, and your host is checkbook. Recounted Williams, as the document will not stop the party from advocating for better governance, from the members with the aim of unsettling the political status quo. But the country's most prominent modern third party failed in its bid to wrest a single seat in the 1997 national polls, causing its then leader, Bruce Golding, to leave. So, as before I give you my 2 cents, guys, I still want to give you, add to that. Let me give you this other piece. I'm not sure. bear with me, guys, because my phone. As I tell you about my phone with the storage capacity, and it's so difficult sometimes to save the stories so that I can bring them to you, right? And for those who don't know, yes, I work from my phone. Yeah, one of these days, right? Yeah, absolutely, one of these days. All right, so let me get this down. I gotta delete and come back so I can get this up and. All right, so here we go. All right, so listen to this now, guys. So this took place yesterday at the in the House of Representatives, where our parliamentarians met yesterday and having their debate. So, okay, huh? Stop. Hmm. Okay, so the Prime Minister, Honorable Andrew Holness, has pushed back at suggestions that he has demonstrated dictatorial tendencies in his leadership, debating an extension of the states of emergency in the Kingston Western and Central Police Division yesterday. Newly appointed leader of the opposition business, Peter Bunting. So in there was this letter that was sent, as I gave you the story before, and you can go back into my library guide and look up that previous episode where I told you about the letter that was circulated, that was sent to the party leader, Dr. Peter Phillips, that the 15 of them, that what they call PNP Rising, right? Something like that, that they wanted a meeting with the party leader to discuss the future of the party, knowing that the Prime Minister was going to be calling an election, and they wanted to ensure that they were secure and they were ready for this election when called, right? So they had their meeting. And at that meeting, some changes were made, right? So the same way you had the Prime Minister making appointments, right, in terms of appointing senators and so on and so forth. So the PNP, they also had appointments. And one of their appointments that they did was they gave Peter Bunting the position of opposition spokesperson for business in the House. So so he replaced Maurice Guy. Maurice Guy was a former opposition spokesperson on business. But now Peter Bunting has been elevated to that position, and so now he is now the opposition spokesperson for business in the House. So yesterday he was speaking right after the Prime Minister made his presentation, and so he said basically, because they were debating, of course, whether or not they should extend the SOE, right? And of course, the Prime Minister wanted it. But Mr. Bunting and company, that was their position to oppose it, right? Okay. However, so they had a debate. So in the debate, Mr. Bunting indicated that the Holness administration had chosen social control over social investment in tackling crime in Jamaica. Bunting argued that when he supported the government's ZOSO, that is the Zones of Special Operations, he thought that this approach would have been expanded. However, he indicated that the administration chose to use state of emergency instead of the ZOSO. According to Bunting, social control was used in the form of state of emergency, curfews, widespread surveillance of citizens, and unjustified arrests, while the JCF has not been sufficiently developed. Quote, the JDF is growing in leaps and bounds. Militarization of policing is another definitive trend in governments who put an emphasis on social control, he added. Responding to Bunting's remarks, Holness said, I find it actually offensive, personally, not in my political persona, for anyone to suggest that I'm trying to be an authoritarian. That's absolutely not the case. Whenever there are exceptional powers to be utilized by the office that I hold, I have been very careful about how they are exercised, the Prime Minister said, adding that he always subjected himself to parliamentary oversight. Holness said that his administration had made no attempt to militarize policing in Jamaica. However, Bunting insisted that the government should invest heavily in schools in communities that are generating crimes. He said the government should invest more in proper housing infrastructure, sewage roads, etc., and train people for employment. National security was 10 times the capital budget for education, Bunting observed, telling his counterpart, Education Minister Carl Samuda, you can't be happy with that. If we keep investing 10 times in social control instead of social investment, we will keep getting what we are getting. The resolution was approved with 44 lawmakers voting yes, right? So out of the 70 odd, 44 voted yes. So it was not unanimous, guys. The decision to extend the SOE, which by the way, it was extended until July 25th, as I mentioned earlier, but it was not a unanimous decision, but they garnered 44 votes, which was the majority. So they were able to pass it. And I think those PMP supporters of the bill, basically, I think those were the ones who were saying basically the reason we are approving, and I think what's his name? I think it was the opposition spokesperson for national security, Fitz Jackson, who actually said during the parliamentary debate while he was making his presentation, that it was the reason he was basically voting for it is because there is, and his words, right, because there is nothing else that the government has provided. There's nothing else that the government has provided, because the presence of the police comes with the SOE. So basically what he was saying is this: the reason they have been approving the SOE, because the police presence comes with the SOE. So if they remove the SOE, then there is no police presence. And it was tried before, wherein the SOE was lifted and there was no police presence in that community, and the people would prefer having the SOE than no police presence at all. How can you tie police presence on an SOE? Yeah. So guys, what time is it? Let me get a quick 2 cents. Literally a 2-minute commentary on this particular story. I gave you, why I did it to you, because I gave it different perspectives. Because I keep hearing this talk about having an August general election. But it's because I know that the Prime Minister is not crazy, and he's an intelligent man, and he's a very astute man. You see him there, that Prime Minister of ours. Yes, he is, you understand? I know there's no way he's going to be holding a general election come August. However, it does appear as though they are planning to have an election this year. You understand? And I find it very disingenuous of them to be doing this at this point in time. Okay. And the reason I think, because I was saying before, no, man, election is not going to call it in 2021, because in actuality, according to the Constitution, right, their term comes to an end March 2021, right? That's when the term comes to an end, March 2021. So therefore, you would not be holding an election before that. You have a 3-month period after your term comes to an end in which you're supposed to hold an election. Constitutional, that's what happens. Do you understand? So, as far as I'm concerned, I'm saying even January 2021, if you wanted to call it early, you could have done that in January or February. But to talk about having a general election in 2020 during COVID-19, it just, I can't even fathom it. But I'm saying, I see wherein it seems to be true. There's some truth to this story. Reason being, I was watching the parliamentary session yesterday, guys, and one of the few members of ministers who I actually do like. I love them all. I have to love them all, right? God is love, and you must love, but you don't have to like. And one of the few ministers in the cabinet that I actually do like, Dr. Nigel Clark. He let me down yesterday, man. I have to look at this man differently now. You understand? I have a handful of persons now. Now, it was a little bit more than a handful. And now I'm down to a handful of persons in our government who I actually can say, these people are people who I actually like and love. Apart from the others who I do love because I have to love. But because these persons, I think, have integrity, and I see wherein they seem, you understand, to have the people's interests at heart, etc. I thought Dr. Nigel Clark was a part of that number. But I'm sorry, sir, you just lost my vote. You understand? Because the gentleman was in parliament and I deliberately did not give that story because I'm so insulted by it. They talk about insulting one's intelligence. I did not expect this gentleman to stand up in Parliament and to give the public, give the people of Jamaica stale news, misinformation, false information about our economy. How do you stand up and look in the mirror and tell the people that we, and at this point in time in our economy, when we all know that the economy is in a shambles, that poverty is on the decline? And by 40%? Really? Who have you been speaking to? People can barely survive. Your number one foreign exchange earner is bringing in a very insignificant amount of income into the country. And people cannot survive on remittance alone. And remittances is the only thing that is driving the economy right now, bringing in any kind of income right now, remittances, right? And we can't live off remittances. That's the only thing. And then you're going to say, you really and truly are going to look at Jamaican people and tell them that, right? Poverty down by 40%. Then when I check it out, guys, that was 2018 information. It was given to us. It did not have when asked, because it was a debate. When the debate started, we found out that the information it was given us was 2018 information, which is why I didn't give it the news, because that is stale news. We want 2019 figures. They did not have 2019 figures, guys. Now it's almost the end of June. Almost the end of June, and we do not have the figures for 2019. But they come with this false narrative because they're insulting the Jamaican people, the Jamaican electorate, and they're insulting us by giving us information that is incorrect, to pretend as if all is well so that they can now say, okay, vote for us. It doesn't work like that. You see, I told them in 2016 I was not going to vote in 2016. But I said in the next general election I was going to vote, because I was given them an opportunity. I gave this government an opportunity. I basically, give them the benefit of the doubt. I gave them the benefit of the doubt. I said, let me see what you have. Prove to me what you can do. And in the next election, I will vote for you. That was my decision. 4.5 years later, and I am still to see the promises that were made come to fruition 4.5 years later. And yet I see some things happening 4.5 years later because they're going to call election. So, for example, one particular member of parliament who promised the world finally fixed a road in our constituency this year. A matter of fact, this month, because they're planning to call election soon. Stop insulting the Jamaican people's intelligence. And we have got to stop allowing them to do it and get away with it. We got to stop it, man. Yeah? We are intelligent people. We need to act like intelligent people. And stop letting these politicians take advantage of us, telling us what they feel like telling us, enough information to make a so-called informed decision in terms of voting for them. That's not informed decisions. That's because we did not get the information. We got misinformation and wrong information and no information at all. Yeah? And I'm telling you, Mr. Brogard, the most honorable Brogard, as they've been calling you, and you gotta stop. You gotta have people stop calling you this Brogard, because you're not God. You're far from God, and you're not God at all. Okay, and you gotta stop it, sir. I am telling you. And if you call, I have no backup, and so you don't just start investigating and trying to trap me, because I don't have no CIA, no FBI, no Interpol, right? No Scotland Yard, no Mossad backing me. The only backing I have is the Most High God, Jehovah God, the Lord God Almighty, the creator of heaven and earth. That's my backing. And that's why I can speak the way I speak. Because I know who I believe in. I know who have my back. You understand? And I'm saying to you, sir, the only reason I could see you holding a general election in August is if you're using arrogance to fuel your decisions as opposed to using good sense. And I see you as a man with good sense to some extent. And so I don't see how you are going to call an election. And I'm telling you, it is going to be to your detriment, sir, if you should go ahead and have an election in August. No August election. You're going to be sorry. I'm telling you, if you call an election in August, you are going to be sorry, because I don't know. Some people seem to be drinking the Kool-Aid. But I'm telling you, the Jamaicans of June 2020 are not the Jamaicans of 2016. I can guarantee you that. People have been watching, people have been observing, and regardless of what you think you say in what your constituents are telling you, because you have some people I recognize, they are colorblind. You understand? They are blind to a color. I'm telling you, the new norm, you're talking about the new norm. The new norm in voting is we're not voting for parties, we're voting for persons. Individuals are what we're going to be voting for. Okay? So if we're not voting for Tom and we're not going to vote for Ari, we're going to vote for Dick. You understand? That's what we're going to do. We're not voting for a party. We're voting for individuals, and we're judging your performance individually, and that's what we're going to do in the next election. And I'm going to advise, and I hope you take my advice, because I know you watch my program, sir. I know you watch my programs. I'm going to give you this advice. I'm going to ask you, because I'm respectful of your position and your authority. So in the most respectful manner, I'm going to ask you, please, for your own sake, do not call an August election. Okay? You're going to be surprised if you should call an August election. Do not call it, because first of all, it is not fair to the Jamaican people. There are too many issues, too many problems. You guys are so focused on elections. When we're talking about elections, in the first instance, we have so many problems to solve. Solve the problems first before you start talking about election. I guarantee you, if you do that, then you stand a better chance. You understand? But don't be calling an election now and thinking because you think you handled COVID-19. You're not fooling anybody. Nobody is fooled except your constituents because they are colorblind. You see? But the average Jamaican is not fooled. There's no handling of any COVID-19 that you're going to bounce on in the next election by calling an early election. And I promise you, if you do it, because I would rather vote at this point in time for somebody who I don't know at this point in time than vote for you. That's just the reality as it is right now. Okay? Because what I'm seeing is ugly, it's dirty, and God don't like ugly. He does not like ugly. Yeah? And so I would advise you, break up the fallow ground. Okay? Repent before the Most High God. And tell people to stop calling you bro God. Tell them to stop it. I saw on your profile, on your Twitter account, where you yourself called yourself the most honorable bro God. That was so wrong of you to do that, sir. You is a man who read your Bible. Go back and read the Bible of all those leaders who acted like a bro God and see what happened to them. And you do not want to test the Most High God, because he is a jealous God. He is a jealous God. And he already said his glory he will share with no man. Okay? And you're a man, not a God. So, on that note, I'm going to finish off with this last story, guys, and I'm going to give you. And again, I'm going to pick up back tomorrow, guys. I'm going to pick up back tomorrow because I realize that I'm running out of time. And I want to give you, there's a story I want to give you, but it can't stay until tomorrow because it's not really that time sensitive. So I can actually wait until tomorrow to give you that story. But I want to give you this one. I want to tell you, for persons who basically wants to know, concerning the U.S. Embassy. Okay, so the U.S. Embassy in Kingston is pleased to announce the resumption of limited routine services to U.S. citizens, and these include passport services, right? The Department of State has resumed passport operations domestically. The processing and the shipping of new full validity passports have resumed on a limited basis during phase 1 of the department's reopening plan. Customers who wish to apply for a full validity passport can now make an appointment online, right? Now, the They have also resumed the certain visas, the IR1 visa, the CR1 visa, the IR2, and the CR2, right? Those are basically for visas for citizens, children of citizens, US citizens, who are basically under 21 years of age. Okay. And for their spouses also, right? And then basically, they will begin processing non-immigrant visas, they say, such as the H2 visas. Now, the H2 visas, guys, are for those persons who are family members of those persons with the H1B visas, and also persons who are like in the medical professionals and so forth for emergency purposes. Those visas are being handled at the embassy at this point in time. Okay. They are also processing all eligible interview waiver cases, including the B1, B2, and the C1, CD visas. Additional information, of course, can be found on their website. Let me give you their website address. Their website address you can go to get information concerning US visas. Is the jm.usembassy.gov. jm.usembassy.gov. And they also, if you're an American citizen, you can send an email to them at kingstonacs@state.gov. That's kingstonacs, as in Sam, at state.gov. And for immigrant visas, you can email them at kingston4, that's Kingston IV, at state.gov, right? And non-immigrant can be Kingston NIV at state.gov. Okay. All right. Thank you. Oh, thank you for my thumbs up. Mwah, mwah, mwah. Love you, girl. Thank you for my thumbs up. Thank you, guys. Keep those thumbs up coming. I thank you very much. I don't take it for granted. I'm glad that you're enjoying the program. Okay. And you found it very informative. Yes. So, guys, I am going to end the program today with one last story. And then tomorrow I will pick up where I left off to give you the rest of the story, because they're not that time sensitive, so they can carry forward for tomorrow, right? So I'm just going to give you one last story today, and then I'm going to call it a day for today. So, where is it? Yeah. Here it is. Major entertainment event, Digital Rising Stars. Digital Rising Stars, guys. Yeah, and everybody look forward to watching it on television. Guess what? So the televised talent show, which has been aired on television Jamaica for the past 16 years uninterrupted. For the first time, it will not be staged this year due to the spread of the novel coronavirus. This was confirmed by series producer Sharon Shouter during an interview with the Jamaica Observer. She disclosed that instead, the Rising Star team has decided to produce a 16-part documentary series looking back at each season of the competition, which has unearthed talents including Romain Virgo, Christopher Martin, Sugar, and One Third. Quote, in this current time, we just had to play it safe. If we had gone ahead with the format that many have come to know and love over the past 16 years, we would have had to implement social distancing guidelines, and that would have seriously impacted the look, the feel, the vibe, and the energy of the show. So the decision was taken to put that on hold for this year, said Shougham. So starting this Sunday, right, Sunday coming, we are presenting a docu-series looking back at each year of Digital's Rising Stars. What we are actually doing is talking to the stars, the ones who won the competition. And Kavan won, but we're also going to talk to Shanga Shanga. For 2005, we're taking viewers back to what happened at Emancipation Park, as well as interviews with Christopher Martin and Nadi Virtue. So we are just going down to memory lane with our viewers in order to keep the program fresh in their minds. So you, starting Sunday, you'll be able to watch this documentary, Rising Stars documentary, as opposed to actually watching Rising Stars, which you were watching Rising Stars, but not actually the competition, just a documentary, which would basically be good for us, because that person like me would work, we never used to watch it. I would never used to watch it. I would watch a documentary, so I'll be catching up, so to speak. Yeah. All right, guys. So that's it for me for today for this program. Yeah, we'll continue tomorrow at noon again, God willing, right? So, yeah, I feel like something I should tell you. I didn't know. I don't remember what to do. I feel like, have you ever had that feeling that you should have done something, you don't get to do it? I don't know. It's coming. It's not coming to me right now. I feel like I should have said something to you, but I'm not remembering what I should have said to you. Anyways, if I remember, I'll tell you tomorrow, whatever that was. All right, guys, I've come to the end of the program for today. I thank you so much for watching. Mwah. Thanks to my Father, Almighty God, for allowing me to have an unbroken session. The feed was unbroken today, so no playlist. Yay! Awesome, 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 awesome. I thank you. I hope you enjoyed the program. Guys, remember to share the broadcast with your friends and family. Share the link, share the link, share the link, and subscribe. Some of you are watching, but you have not subscribed. Please subscribe to the channel. Okay? Thank you so much. And remember, I'm on Facebook, Instagram, and Twitter. You can go over there where you can go and share, comment, and like also. Okay, guys. And remember, we are still in this Sahara dust. Oh, that's what I forgot. Oh my god. As I talk about the Sahara dust, I forgot I was supposed to give you some more information about the Sahara dust today. Tomorrow, I promise you, tomorrow I'll give you that information, guys. I started yesterday to give you some information, and I have some more for you. I'll give it to you for tomorrow, because by tomorrow it should be dissipated. By tomorrow, it's still out there. You notice outside it's very hazy. That means you must still wear your mask, guys, right? So you're not only wearing a mask for COVID-19, you're wearing the mask because the Saharan dust, right? The Sahara dust is out there, and especially if you have respiratory illnesses, it is very dangerous for you, especially if you're asthmatic, right? So ensure you wear your mask as you're out there, because you can't see the particles in the air, but when you look out on the horizon, you can see the haze, and you know that it is there. It is a very dusty time. If you wash your clothes and put it on the line, you will see the dust on it also. But it's very dusty out there, so be careful, guys, as you go out there. Okay. Absolutely. And remember, we're still under a pandemic, guys, so you have to practice your physical distancing, okay, and practice infection control measures, which you should have been doing anyway. You understand? COVID-19 only come to make you a little cleaner, yeah? Absolutely. So, guys, I thank you again for watching. And as always, this is JJ, Woman Without Borders, saying to you, stay blessed and be a blessing. See you tomorrow, God willing. Love you. Bye.